ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So, any questions, clarifications on what we did last time? I thought it was very simple, straightforward instructions. Remember, he's speaking about meditation, but more time has been spent on the meditator. Because that's what is important. The meditation will only be as good as the meditator. Am I clear enough for all of you? Can you just show me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Yeah, okay. Okay. The meditation will only be as good as the meditator. Let me also remove some myths about meditation before I go into the actual practice of it. Okay. Many people have this myth that Atma Jnanam will happen in meditation. Knowledge, any knowledge, requires a pramana, a means of knowledge. Okay? Any knowledge requires that. Here the pramana is the shabda. Okay? The pramana is the shabda. That is the Gita, Upanishad, etc. Therefore, and the Gita Upanishad, since it's the Shabda Pramanam, it has to be explained by somebody, taught. And you have to be awake to listen to it. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Therefore, this knowledge can take place only on Shravana, listening. In fact, Shravanam is the main pramana. If you are an Uttama Adhikari means one of the best of students, great students, who has got Viveka, Vairagya, all the thing I talked about when we are doing the second chapter, in full measure if you have, optimum measure, then you don't require meditation. Shravanam alone is enough. That's why you will find all over the Upanishads, the student listens to the teacher and goes away free. Listening was enough for them. May have one or two doubts to clarify, ask. That's it. Enough. Similarly, in the Gita, you will find at the end of the 18 chapters, Arjuna telling Krishna, Nashto moha smritar labdva. My delusion is gone. I remember all that I am. Karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you ask me to do. Let's roll. The battle awaits. He doesn't say, okay, now let me go sit down and meditate in the Himalayas. I'll come back and we'll have this battle after 6 months. Doesn't say that. Let's roll. Yeah. Battle awaits, so let's roll. That's all. Why? He is clear. But such type of students you will find only in the pages of the Upanishads or the Gita. Okay? You will find them only there. I was not a student like that, okay? Honest confession. I required meditation to own it up. So, if pramana is Shravanam, why do you need meditation at all? Why do you need meditation at all? I'll keep listening and listening and listening. Here is where my old example comes into play, my teacher's example. We have been going around with this example for 40 years. It works. Okay. Just for the sake of the newcomers who have not heard, may not have heard the example from either my teacher or me, let me tell the small story. Okay. You know Chembur market? Near the level crossing, the old level crossing. Now there is a flyover connecting you to Chedanagar, Ghatkopar, etc. That one. Under that, there is a beggar. He was born there. He was born and bred as a beggar. Okay? Born and bred as a beggar. Then, and you know, anyone ask him, अरे हट्टा कट्टा आदमी है, कुछ काम क्यों नहीं कर रहा, धंधा क्यों नहीं करता? साहब ये मेरा धंधा हो. This is my job. Okay. This is my job. Yeah. In Bombay, begging is also a profession. There are very few helpless beggars, you know. Very few. In fact, I discovered once under the Matunga bridge, the bridge that connects east-west Matunga, a school being run for beggars. There was an experienced beggar teaching kids how to beg. I'm not joking. I go to odd places, see odd things, you know. Yeah. ये एक्चुअली या ऐसा बोलने का या ऐसा करने का है, दिया भाव लगाने का है. और फिर भी नहीं देते तो थोड़ा उसको ये करने का है, फिर बोलेंगे अरे ये लेके भाग तो पैसे दे देगा. Yeah. I mean, all sorts of training was going on. So this guy was like that, professional beggar. But nobody really likes to be a beggar, doesn't it? You know, you feel very low about yourself. However good you are in that job, you cannot feel great. However good you are in the job of begging, you cannot feel great about yourself. Because it's begging after all. So every time he used to get some money, he used to buy a lottery ticket. So last Diwali, he got a bumper ticket. Okay. 11 crores was the bumper offer. 11 crores. 100 bucks was the ticket, but he got that money. He had saved up some money, bought it. And he won, as chance had it. He won. So now a funny thing happens. Why? Because once you have that money, you want some respectability. You know? So you got a flat. Bought a flat. Because even after taxation, 5-6 crores are there with him. So he bought a small flat. Bought a nice car. Nice dress. What he thinks is nice. Gold watch. Golden rings. And then he took his car into that crowded marketplace. Why? He wanted to show all those people, those hawkers and the people who would come. देखा मैं सांप बन गया अभी. Correct? Eh? So he parked that car. And you know there is a Sai Baba mandir there. There is a small mandir also there. It was a day like today, Ekadashi. So somebody was distributing some laddus. There's a crowd there. And this guy went and extends his hands over the heads of all other people who are in front of him. Why? 30 years का experience है यार. 30 years का experience है. From childhood he knows how to beg. And that guy dropped the laddu, but then saw all the gold rings, the gold watch, the guy is dressed in flashy clothes. Huh? Why is this guy coming? This is meant for all the poor people. And in that man's gaze, this guy suddenly remembered, oh my God, what am I doing? Now here is the situation. Did that guy not know he was a rich man? Of course he knew he was a rich man. Then, if he knew he was a rich man, why did he extend his hand? He doesn't require that laddu. In fact, he will do that. He decided, next time I will do the distribution of laddus to make up for that feeling inside. He knew he was a rich man, but old conditionings, old habits, habitual thinking, old patterns of being a beggar, and that beggarliness came through. Even though he is rich, he feels beggarly. This is our lot. We know we are limitless awareness, etc. But somebody says something. My boyfriend, girlfriend does not respond. My husband, wife does not respond in some manner I want, I feel upset. Hey, catch him and tell him now what you want. He should have understood without me having to tell him. Why love makes you a mind reader or what? ये क्या बात है? These are all the myths that goes around in society. That if you love, you will understand without words. Love does not give you psychic abilities. And we also keep this myth going. Like years ago, before I joined the ashram, I went to a friend's house, a lady. She suddenly went inside and got me a glass of water. I said, why? I didn't ask for water. No, I knew you wanted water. Yeah, that is true. Thank you. पी लिया. प्यार से देते तो पिए नहीं. But we are keeping that myth going. I did not want that water. I'm like a camel. I'll drink water and I can go for hours on end without water. But we perpetuate these myths. Similarly, this myth that I am the body, I am the mind, has been going on for lifetimes. Lifetime after lifetime, we have been living with this belief system. So that knowledge that we have seems to be, it is not blocked, seems to be blocked by our habitual patterns of thinking and doing. So what should that beggar do now? Hey, we are all beggars in life. Huh? In fact, in Tamil there is a song like that. No? Those who are the Tamilians here, Nandavanatulu Randi. In Nandavanam, God's garden, there is an Andi, a beggar. Nandavanatulu Randi. Avan Nalaru Masamai Koravanai Tandi. I may be pronouncing it a little off because I am not a Tamilian, okay? For 6 and 4 months, he prayed to the great potter. And Kunduvan Danuru Tondi. He bought a pot. Sometimes the pot is not manifesting, thank God. So he got a pot. Then what did he do with that pot? Avan Kutadi Odchudantandi. He played ducks and drakes and broke the pot. So that is the jiva, the beggar. He goes about trying to beg happiness from life. I'm not happy now. I want to be happy. If I get that, I'll be happy. If I get this, I'll be happy. एक बार मुस्कुरा दो, खुश हो जाएगा दिल. From there on it starts. Yeah. ये सब होता है. It's all life. Okay. Yeah. With all these conditionings we love. And now suddenly you have discovered Aham Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Now here the guy who has been attending classes regularly, he has discovered I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. हाँ स्वामी जी बोला सब लॉजिक क्लियर है. I remember the jokes and the stories also. And he goes home and his wife says, I want to talk to you. Seriously. Oh my God. What have I done wrong? आज मेरा हालत होने वाला है. Because when a woman says she wants to talk to you, you have done something wrong. When a guy says I want to talk to you, he has done something wrong. General pattern. Okay, these are all relationship secrets that come through the class. Anyway, so what happened to that knowledge? I am Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. She has a right to get upset with me. What is the problem of getting upset? If she gets upset and speaks to me angry, I will respond in love. Because Ananda in a relationship is nothing but love. And the same love can become confrontation if the object of love needs a confrontation. It's so simple. किधर गया वो सब knowledge? Out of the window. Like that beggar. So what should this beggar do? He should sit comfortably. Spread all the riches in front of him. All the trappings of wealth. बाहर देखने गाड़ी है ना, हाँ गाड़ी है, वॉच है, हाँ गोल्ड वॉच. Then all the gold rings, then all the fancy stuff. Okay, I am rich. This is what the new rich do. Anyway, na, anyone has become rich overnight is flashy. Old wealth is not flashy. New wealth is flashy. Until you are comfortable with the idea of your riches, old patterns are broken. So now you can be comfortable. Then you can pack all that and keep it inside. You don't need all those gold rings. Okay. Don't need it anymore. Yeah, one marriage, that better be there, okay? Don't keep that also inside. Your partner will get very upset with you. After that, you don't need all these trappings. Well, you feel rich and comfortable. You feel whatever riches you have, you'll be comfortable with that. Same way with this knowledge. Same way with this knowledge. You need to meditate on this knowledge until what has gone in through the years has sunk into the heart. Your emotional life is colored with this knowledge. Then you don't need any of the trappings of this knowledge. It lies lightly with you. It's very natural with you. You don't have to keep talking Vedanta to show everyone that you know Vedanta. You're very comfortable. So this is called Nididhyasanam. This is called Nididhyasanam. Okay? This meditation is called Nididhyasanam. It is more of contemplation rather than meditation. then there is a preparatory meditation which everyone has to do. Like Arjuna did. When? From childhood onwards. From childhood onwards, when he was taught archery, he was taught by a great teacher like Drona. It's a very contemplative art form. Even if you are killing someone, you do it very meditatively, okay? In the sense, the focus and the attention you need to bring into it. This meditation, what we call as preparatory meditation, there are thousands and thousands of types, over 1,000 types. I myself have tried so many of them. There are so many types of meditation. Okay. What is it basically? To command a contemplative mind. A mind that is quiet and peaceful, irrespective of the surroundings. That is why Arjuna and Krishna could learn and teach on the battlefield. For us, if a car goes, somebody's mic is on, we feel disturbed. There, martial music is on, the bugle and the drums and the kettle drums and all that is on. The neighing of the horses, the trumpeting of the elephants. Imagine that picture. Neighing horses, raring to go because they are war horses. Now come on, they sense battle. A war horse is not like what you have in Chaupati or you have in Mahalakshmi. No, war horse is a different animal altogether. Really, war horse is a very, very wonderful animal to have. It's your companion, it's your lifesaver. Yeah. They're trumpeting elephants. Imagine the scene. The clash of arms, the clang of armor. The drums and the bugles and the tutori and all that going on. And that noise, calm and peaceful, these two people are having a discussion. Ashocha nanvashochahatvam prajnavadansha bhashase gataso nagatansonscha nanu shochanti pandita. Krishna is teaching. That's how Krishna would have spoken. Not Ashocha nanvashochastvam prajnavadansha bhashase. That's good to chant because this thing will help you remember. But don't imagine that's how Krishna taught Arjuna. Okay? Can you imagine Krishna saying like that? You're on the battlefield. Nimitta matram bhavasavyasachin. Not nimitta matram bhavasavyasachin. No. That's why I don't do too much of Gita chanting, okay? Because for me, I find it difficult to chant like that. Why? For me, the bhava of that warrior bhava is so much there, so important for me. I can't chant like that. That's if you notice when you have all that Gita Jayanti chanting and all. Anita, stop screen sharing. Anita Gupta, please have a look at your. Can you all see me clearly?
No, Swamiji.
Yeah, Anita Gupta, please switch off and switch on your video. Anita Gupta, can you hear me?
Yes, I think I saw until.
You are screen sharing and having a problem for all of us.
We cannot hear you, Swami.
Anita Gupta, can you hear me?
She left Swamiji.
What the problem? She has left us with the problems. Okay. Okay, we are back. Can you all hear me? Can everyone hear me or they can't hear me?
We can hear you,
You can hear and see me?
not see.
Can't see you, Swamiji.
We can see your
Okay, those who can turn on their videos, please do so. Now the view is gallery view. Okay, all of you should be able to see me.
No.
Can't see me?
No, we can't see you.
You can't see me.
We can hear, we can hear you.
Okay.
Swamiji, we can see your Ashim.
How is it now? Can you all see me now? Okay, can you all see me now?
Yes, yes, Swami. Yes, Swami.
Okay.
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. Fine. That's good. So, the preparatory meditation are basically to get a contemplative mind, a mind that is calm, peaceful in the face of all problems. Whatever problems you have, your mind will be peaceful. Now, this is a skill that you develop on the mind. Okay? A skill that you develop. So, as I was saying, there are thousands of meditations. We will do a simple one here. Okay? A simple one. Okay? We call it Japa Dhyanam. We start a Japa, old fashioned Japa, and convert the Japa into Dhyanam, contemplation. Okay? It's a very simple thing. Am I loud enough for all of you? Yeah. So,
Yes,
it's,
Swamiji.
yeah, it's a very simple thing, but now this contemplation is a knack of being with yourself. It's a knack that you develop. So we'll do a simple version now. Then as we go every week, I will put on certain aspects They'll help you with the meditator aspect of the meditation also. Okay. Remember, for this, you are living a life of karma yoga. That's a given. Okay, that's a given. That's important. Okay, because half your disturbances, more than half, comes from the past and the future. The past in terms of your regrets, your hurt, your pain, your guilt, etc. These have to be dealt with at the psychological level of emotions. Starting from a certain level of self-acceptance, when you accept the fact of this is what am I and work on it. That is why in traditional, when we are in an ashram setup, etc., at least once a month, minimum, depending upon the number of students, or even more, you have a one-on-one with the teacher. Why? Because there will always be something from your past, In today's life, you cannot live 30 years without picking up some hurt and guilt. Just not possible. Okay, it is there. Yeah. And what about the future? My worry, my anxiety of the future. That is where karma yoga comes in. You are willing to accept whatever happens. Prasada buddhi. So it's prasada buddhi. Where is the worry and anxiety? Where is the worry, anxiety, etc.? It's there. I mean, it may be there to a slight extent, but manageable extent only. So then half the disturbances are gone. Then only the habitual pattern is there to be broken. The habitual pattern of the mind jumping here and there. Why? Because we always try to multi-skill unnecessarily. You are watching TV and teaching your child and reading the paper all together. Not one is done properly. Multi-skilling requires a high level of contemplativeness. Only then you can do that. Okay? So this pattern that you have created in your mind of being disturbed, of jumping from thing to thing, like trying to watch 2-3 serials on the TV at the same time. Because you don't want to miss any. Yeah, you can multi-skill if one of them is mechanical and the other is more awareful. Then you can do it. Yeah. So at this level when you are functioning, okay, now what do? Okay. We start with the actual practice of meditation. Okay. How do we go about it? Remember what he said about the seat. Have a comfortable seat. Okay. Don't worry about that ringing phone. It is the watchman trying to call me because probably something has come for me below. He can wait until I finish my class. World can wait. This should be your attitude. The world can wait. Now I'm going to meditate. That's why he says, Rahasi Sitaha. Choose a time and place where you're not going to be disturbed. As far as possible. Okay. 5 o'clock in the evening may not be a good time. But whatever time, when you're doing it on your own, whatever time is a good time and place. Then see that you have a comfortable base. I don't mind whether you're sitting on the floor, sitting on a chair, sitting on your bed, but I want you to be sitting. Not lying down and meditate because that's guaranteed to put you to sleep. That's the first obstacle that comes up in meditation actually. So two people had dropped off and they're joining back. Okay. So now you're sitting comfortably. When you're sitting, your base has to be very comfortable, stable. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit flat. For Vedantic meditation, it doesn't matter whether you're cross-legged or not. In certain schools, when you're doing some other things, they'll say it has to be sitting like this. In Vedanta, it doesn't matter because you're dealing with your mind, not with your body. So your energy in the body, etc., has got nothing to do as far as this is concerned. Okay, this overcomes all that. So you sit comfortable. See that your spine is naturally erect. That's important. You can't be slouching or something like that or slumping down, No. Spine erect. Okay. Drop your shoulders but expand it at the same time. That's a very tricky situation. Normally when you see expand shoulders, I see people putting out their chest. पहलवान नहीं बनने का इधर, okay? Drop. And from here, let the shoulders expand. With your breath. Comfortable. So you are a T now, you are like a cross. Okay? Spine and this column. Shoulders dropped, not squared. You don't have to pull in your stomach, etc. Nobody is seeing it. It's okay. Be relaxed. Okay. Be relaxed. I know some of us have got some COVID bodies. Some of us took the chance of COVID to work out and lose weight. Some of us just maintained it, everything fine. Whatever you have done. Okay. Be comfortable with that body. It's a functioning body, na? Yeah. Some time back when I used to, for a short period I went to the gym. I just wanted to get back into certain things. So they used to ask, sir, आप martial artist है लेकिन six pack नहीं है आपका? I said, उन लोग को जवान को, they will have six packs. I will have a full pack. Okay. So no problems. My hara is very strong. These are all things you use to accept yourself. Okay. So don't worry. You're fine as you are. It's a functioning body. It can do. It responds to your demands and does what you want. Good enough. Fine. Okay. So there you are. Fine. Then what? Then you first see that your body is relaxed. First step, to see the body is relaxed. You don't meditate to relax. You relax and you meditate. Ulta. So the first step would be to relax. Now what do I need you to do for that? Simple. Follow my instructions. Okay. For that, gently close your eyes. Now, mentally, go over your facial muscles and see that they are all relaxed. No frown on your face, you are not concentrating on anything. Mouth is closed, but the jaw is not clenched. Relax your jaw, but close your mouth. Neck erect, relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. You are not squaring them, you are not slumping them. They are gently dropped down, you are relaxed. Arms, upper arm, bicep, tricep, relaxed. Forearms, relaxed. Palms and fingers, relaxed. Chest muscles, relaxed. Relax your chest muscles. You are not on a parade ground. Relax. Stomach, relaxed. Sides, relaxed. Upper back, lower back, relaxed. Even if there is some ache or pain somewhere, mentally tell yourself, it's okay, it's relaxed. Waist and hips, relaxed. The whole pelvic girdle relaxed. Thigh muscles relaxed. The quadriceps, the hamstrings relaxed. Your knees relaxed. Calf muscles relaxed. Shin relaxed. Ankle, feet and toes all relaxed. Your whole body is relaxed. Look at this body in one sweep of vision from the head to the toe. It's relaxed. It's like any other body sitting here. You are aware of this body is relaxed and sitting here. Then, to help you quieten your mind a bit further, pay attention to your breathing. You are not doing a pranayama, a breathing exercise. You are just watching your breath. Prana ikshanam it is called. Just watch your breath. This can become a meditation by itself. In Buddhist traditions, this becomes a primary meditation. We will do a little bit of that here. Integrate it into this. Just watch your breath. You can feel the breath at the tip of your nostrils. Just feel it. You are not deliberately breathing. There is no intention to breathe. Breathing is involuntary. It happens. Just watch your breath. After some time, see if you can feel that breath in your throat as it goes down. Can you feel it in your lungs? You will not feel your lungs directly, but you may feel it, the diaphragm going up and down, the gentle movements of the diaphragm that separates the lung cavity from your abdominal cavity. You may feel it there. As the diaphragm moves down, you may feel the pressure a little lower down in your nabhi area, your navel, and little below that. Just keep watching that breath. All this is happening on its own. You are just witnessing it. Even if you can't feel it any of the deeper areas, that doesn't matter. As long as you can watch your breath, you are fine. If you can't feel it anywhere, feel it at your nostrils. That's easy for everyone. Now that your mind is relatively quiet, here is where we make it a little religious to bring out the bhakta in yourself, the devotee in yourself. Invoke the Lord in whatever form you can relate to. Whatever form, it doesn't matter. Invoke that Lord. And offer a manasa puja, a mental worship. It doesn't matter if you have not done a puja in your life. Light that lamp, make it vivid. Use that abhisheka. When you're doing the abhisheka, feel the coolness of the water pot in your hand and the few drops of water that spill on you. Feel that coldness. I want it vivid. Offer deepam, dhupam, naivedyam, etc. Offer that. Mentally. Offer all that you want, all that you can imagine. Take the arati plate for the final arati. The final arati is camphor. Light that camphor, see it flaring up. Offer the arati to the Lord, see how the face is lighted up. Or the linga, or the saligrama, or the meru is lighted up in the light of the camphor. See that. Put down the arati plate, take the arati yourself. Prostrate to the Lord and sit down for your japa. When you are doing the japa, there is no more imagining the Lord, visualizing Ishvara, etc. Not there. At home you will do the chant, the japa, taking any mantra that you can relate to. Now I will chant a mantra. When the mantra is there, listen to the mantra. When the mantra is not there, listen to the silence. You are not chanting, you are just listening right now. Okay? So listen. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 In the beginning, you will see the silence is there between the chanting. But as you focus more and more on the chant, more and more on the silence, you will find there is silence before and silence after the chant. Let us do it again. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Before the chant, there is silence. After the chant, there is silence. You are the one that is watching the silence. The one that watches silence is silence. That silence is not different from you. Watch again. Om Ishaya Namaha. 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 Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamugacchate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You can come back to normal thinking. Cup your eyes if you want to. This is the most basic, simple thing. Every week we'll keep adding something to it. Okay? There are a few things to be added. We'll keep adding that every week. Okay? Any questions, clarifications? Or it's all clear?
No, Swamiji, it was wonderful.
Yeah, there's something you have to have done. Yes. Meditation looks like an action, but really speaking, it's not an action. All that I will clarify that. How often you should do it, how regularly you must do it. That's one question that came up. Okay? How often? Preferably every day. About 15-20 minutes, more than enough. Now today we did only 10 minutes. The actual meditation was only 10 minutes. Good enough. Good enough. Start small. Start small. Okay? Don't be over ambitious. There are some traditions where you should be able to sit down in 3 hours for 3 hours before you get out of the house and become a sadhu. वो सब ठीक है, रहने दो. Okay. Okay. In time, your whole life will become contemplative. Whether you are walking, talking, anything, you are calm and peaceful. Whether you are talking to your beloved or fighting a war, you are calm and peaceful. And that's what matters, isn't it? In fact, it's only in Hindi movies and all, you will see all that, who, he, in a battle situation. Real life battle are not like that. Warriors, soldiers may have some sort of shouting and this thing and all that stuff. But trained warriors, Vajramushti warriors like Arjuna, Bhishma. Yeah, he may blow a conch or roar to get some attention, to draw the person's attention. Okay, yeah, come on. Fight. But the fighting happens, you are calm, peaceful. Like Bhishma. Neme bhana Arjunasya. Neme bhana Shikandinaha. Says, these arrows are not Arjuna's. half these arrows are Shikandis. Why? Shikandi's arrows bounce off my armor. Arjuna's arrows pierce my armor and burn my flesh. He's saying that on the battlefield, okay? He is making out. What a calm and peaceful mind you would have commanded. Yeah. So that is where, of course, we don't have to go that far in our contemplativeness, okay? That was meant for people like them, not for us. For us, certain contemplativeness, so if someone shouts and screams at us, we are okay, we can handle it. Okay, that's enough for us.
It's very important for us.
Or your child is misbehaving, you're still calm and peaceful. Okay, all right, okay. Yeah. That's good enough for us. Okay, so do this for a few minutes every day. If there are any doubts and things that may come up, we'll handle it next Saturday. We have not done a single verse today because last time I read 7-8 verses. The whole process. And today we did the process. Okay. So next class we will go forward in the text. Do meditation also. Every class we will do last 15-20 minutes. We will do the meditation part of it. Okay. Any questions, clarifications, or clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah,
not
shoot,
a
shoot.
question, as in I just wanted to share a problem that I face when I meditate.
What is that?
I generally, fall asleep, even if I'm trying to concentrate as a man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a quick fix right now. Okay. It is because the mind is usually awake and thinking, not thinking but asleep. So that pattern has to be broken. It's perfectly okay to take the help of a cup of coffee. Okay. Yeah. Perfectly okay. We don't have to be like yogis, avoid tea, coffee, etc. In fact, the tea was invented by the South Indian yogis and they took it to China. And Shaolin are great tea drinkers. No, that is green tea. Green tea has got more caffeine than black tea. Yeah. So, we use that quite often. So, don't hesitate on all that. Whatever you need to do, you need to do. And there will be what I call as the blocks to meditation. In there, I will deal with all of them more elaborately. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, take care. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you.